Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your Vedic astrology coach Rajat Kapoor and welcome to my channel The Legit Astrologer. In my channel I make videos on Vedic astrology. I talk about transits. In the recent times I have made a video on Saturn's transit in the sign of Pisces and how it is going to have an impact on all 12 ascendant and the moon signs over the next 2.5 years. This video is available on my channel. So what's happening on 29th of March 2025? This is the day when 6 planets are coming together in the sign of Pisces. These 6 planets are Rahu, Venus, Mercury, Sun, Moon and Saturn. Now interestingly, I have named all these 6 planets based on their duration of time that they have spent in the sign of Pisces, where Rahu has spent the most time in the last 1.5 years. Rahu has been in the sign of Pisces. Now it is going to change signs over the next couple of months and move to the sign of Aquarius. This video is about global predictions. What could we expect? Some of the events that could trigger over the next couple of months. So 29th of March 2025, 6 planets are coming together. This is also the day when Saturn enters the sign of Pisces. It is going to be at 0 degrees and we will also have the first partial solar eclipse of the year. Thankfully, Jupiter is not involved in this conjunction and the eclipse Mars is not involved. Considering the fact that it is also partial solar eclipse, it is not the total solar eclipse. So the intensity of this day, this conjunction is not very high as we would normally expect it to be. So that is good news for us. Eclipses are a very good time for spiritual sadhana. For any prayers, any meditation, anything that you start. Solar eclipse marks new beginnings. I have made a video on lunar eclipse that happened on 14th of March. So lunar eclipse marks the ending. 2 weeks after that, we have solar eclipse that marks new beginnings. Now this eclipse is happening in the sign of Pisces, which is ruled by Jupiter, and in the nakshatra of Uttara Bhadrapad, that is ruled by Saturn. We do have certain factors to consider around this time, but there are 2 lords which rules the highest of dharma, artha, kama and moksha houses, the ruler of the 4 purusharthas or the pillars of life, that is Jupiter and Saturn, the natural rulers of Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius and Pisces, which are the natural 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th houses are involved. So the solar eclipse delivers good as well as bad results, but most importantly it marks new beginnings. This is the best day for any spiritual sadhana, chanting mantras or prayers. That is something which I have already shared with you. Now let me talk about some global events that I foresee based on my research. Last time this eclipse in the sign of Pisces in Uttara Bhadrapad Nakshatra happened in 2006. Around the same time, coincidentally it was 29th of March 2006 when this eclipse happened. It was a total solar eclipse. There were not many other planets that were involved in this eclipse. So the intensity was quite high because Rahu and Ketu were the dominant factor in this eclipse. And we must remember, when Rahu and Ketu has a greater influence, that triggers sudden events because Rahu and Ketu are the significator of suddenness in life. So they trigger sudden events, sudden changes. When there are other planets that are involved, then these influences are mitigated because this eclipse has been influenced by Venus, by Mercury and also somewhat by Saturn. I do expect the intensity of suddenness to minimize around this time. This is happening in Uttara Bhadrapad, 4th pada, which is the pada of moksha, spiritual liberation. So therefore it is an excellent time to put your discipline in spiritual practices, spiritual pursuits. From a regional perspective, the partial solar eclipse will be visible from Canada, parts of Europe, which includes Northern Europe, Central Europe. These are some of the regions that will be impacted. So if you live in the US, Canada, Northern Europe, UK, parts of Central Europe, you're likely to be impacted at the individual level. So the intensity could be quite higher compared to people from other parts of the world. Though, of course, all the people who are going through Dasha, Antardasha, Pratantardasha of any of these planets, Rahu, Ketu, Sun, Moon, Venus, Mercury and Saturn and also Jupiter are likely to be impacted by this solar eclipse. So based on my research, I could expect that there could be not 1 but 2 possible earthquake kind situations. So there could be earthquake related incidents, tsunami or volcanic eruptions. These are the 3 things that could trigger, and I would anticipate that there could be at least 2 such unforeseen events. I expect and hope that the intensity of these events are as low as possible, but this is purely based on research and historically what has happened when an eclipse occurs in these circumstances or situations. So between April to June is the time window. So I would expect from a regional point of view, Southeast Asian region in and around Indonesia, in and around Myanmar, some of these regions, Australia, New Zealand, more on the coastal side, and also the West Asian region. So these are the three belts that we need to pay careful attention at. So there could be mid to high magnitude of an earthquake or a tsunami kind of a situation that could also trigger. This could be due to an earthquake, or there could be a major volcanic eruption that could happen in some of these regions. Now, Central Europe is also one of the affected regions. So we could see flood kind situation over the next 2 to 3 months, which could be quite intense, which could be quite massive. This could also trigger some disease or some viruses which are related to water. So this is something which we have to be mindful of, which we have to be careful of. So either there could be water that is involved, or there could be birds that are involved. So it is more or less a virus that is generated either through water or birds. So this is a time where we have to probably exercise utmost caution. I do not expect that to intensify, but yes, that could trigger to some limited global disturbance or more of a fear at the mental level over the next few weeks or months. But this is really marking a new beginning, which is related to the sign of Pisces wherever it falls in your chart. I hope and believe that my prediction to turn out wrong. Okay, I do not expect such unforeseen events to happen in the world, but we live in a world, we have to live with these events and exercise utmost caution. Do a lot of prayers, do a lot of sadhana in order to spread the message of peace, in order to channelize and of course work on protection of the world and humanity. Thank you very much. God bless you all.